In a week that had a lot of Brits showing support to Boris Johnson and his Brexit approach, it was revealed that the Irish people aren't showing the same amount of support when it comes to their own Prime Minister. It was revealed that the Irish people have turned against Leo Varadkar, their Prime Minister, when it comes to the Brexit negotiations and the whole handling of the situation within the European Union. People in Ireland were asked if they were satisfied with the way Leo Varadkar has been handling the Brexit negotiations, and 57% have said that they are not satisfied. Also, of the 43% that have said that they are satisfied, a big chunk of them have said that they are quite satisfied and the rest semi-satisfied. This is following the news that the Irish Central Bank warned the Prime Minister of Ireland that if no deal Brexit happens, 100,000 jobs in Ireland will be lost. The Irish Central Bank have said that the main outstanding source of risk to financial stability in Ireland stems from a worse than expected macroeconomic shock. This could arise if the expected negative impact through trade channels is compounded by a sharp increase in uncertainty and a fall in confidence, with knock-on effects to Irish employment, incomes and investment. We've even had senior politicians from both Fine Gael and Fine Gael criticising Leo Varadkar and his government. One example is Timmy Dooley. He said that a standoff with our nearest neighbour is a direct result of Varadkar's failure to engage in basic diplomacy over the past 2 years. The government's lack of experience and arrogance will hurt Ireland in the coming months. What's interesting is that Varadkar has invested so much over the past few years into the whole EU mentality, especially when it comes to Brexit, thinking that the EU is a friend of Ireland. In reality, it's not true. It seems like he's completely forgotten how the European Union have treated democracy in Ireland. When the Irish people held a referendum on Lisbon Treaty and voted against it, the European Union forced them to hold another referendum until they get the answer they wanted. But that's not all. As we all know, the Ireland and the Irish government have a very kind of flexible taxation system, especially when it comes to corporation tax, to attract businesses from across the world. Now, the European Union is never like that. The European Union are in favour of harmonising corporation tax and having a centralised financial system within the EU to run the whole of Europe, which will never work. Now, Ireland and the EU have occasionally clashed on this issue. Now, only 3 days ago, this happened. The EU served a notice on Ireland over the tax avoidance rule delay. The European Commission has served a formal notice on Ireland, calling on it to implement the key anti-tax avoidance rules in relation to how companies use interest payments to cut their tax bills. Ireland had said it would delay implementing the changes until 2024, but the European Commission has signalled that it does not agree with the basis on which this was done. Now, again, you might hear the words tax avoidance, and so you might think, oh, the EU is doing something good for once and tackling tax avoidance. But in reality, it's not really the case. There are flexible tax arrangements in Ireland so that people and businesses could easily work there. And the European Union have labelled these sort of things badly so that they could attack and they could force Ireland to harmonise their taxation system with the EU. They've always had this tax plan. The European Union tax plan is a bigger threat to Ireland than Brexit. Ireland could lose €4 billion in taxes if the corporate tax harmonisation plan is adopted. This is what the experts have said. Corporation tax harmonisation plans across the Eurozone pose a bigger threat to Ireland than the departure of the UK from the European Union. The head of the Irish Fiscal Advisory Council has strongly warned against it. As we said, Ireland has been told that they could lose up to €4 billion worth of corporation tax if the EU-wide tax rules are actually set. The warning came as Juncker, when he was still in charge of the Commission, told the MEPs that the tax rules for Facebook, Google, Amazon and other digital companies should no longer be subject to veto by member states. Now, the EU has always wanted harmonization, not just when it comes to tax plans or financial services, but also diplomacy. Now, the situation is with the Brexit negotiations, The UK was told a number of times that we're not allowed to hold direct and individual talks with member states like Germany or France or Poland. Whereas it seems like when it comes to Ireland, that's not the case. And Varadkar now feels like a big boy in the EU because the European Union has given him the power to hold direct talks with the UK Prime Minister.
So, I wouldn't accept that criticism at all. What I would point out, though, that when it comes to negotiations on Brexit, they happen between the European Union, including Ireland on the one hand, and the UK government on the other. No political party is involved in these negotiations. They are intergovernmental by nature. And I've spoken to the new Prime Minister by phone, and I invited him to come to Dublin to talk about these matters some more without any preconditions. So that's really an invitation for him to decide on. In terms of fear, I think we should be afraid of a no-deal Brexit. A no-deal Brexit would have very serious impacts on the economy, north and south, and in Britain. It could have security implications as well, and it could have constitutional implications. So it's something that we have to prepare for nonetheless, but it is something we should be afraid of, I believe.
So that's really interesting. So he's really happy that, I can talk to Boris Johnson myself. But in reality, you're not going to be the decision maker. It's still going to be the European Commission and the Council that will decide for you, whether you like it or not. This is why Ireland should not forget that their best friend and closest ally is right next door, the United Kingdom. Even when it comes to trade, the UK remains the biggest market when it comes to Irish export, with the majority of Irish export coming to the UK. So do they really want to risk all this business opportunity for the sake of an Irish backstop? The best solution to the problems we mentioned in this video, so whether it's the Irish backstop or the sovereignty of Ireland and the Irish government to decide their own economic and taxation policies and being able to freely trade with everyone around the world, is for Ireland to leave the EU. Now, a big chunk of people in Ireland know this, although at the moment, if you hold a referendum, it might be quite tough to call, but it will be a lot closer than people think it is. I think with the way things are going, there will be a lot of member states, especially Ireland, that will be fed up with this whole harmonization, centralized globalist mentality of the European Union, which doesn't work. So let's see how it goes in the next few years, especially when we leave the EU at the end of October. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you share this so that people know what's happening in Ireland, especially when it comes to Brexit. If you want to follow me on Twitter, my Twitter handle should be somewhere down here. And as always, if you want to support the channel, you could join the Cabinet Club. The link will be in the description. And don't forget to subscribe and click on the notification bell next to it. And I'll see you tomorrow with a new video.